speaking of dumb people, let's see how Nicky No-Boat's plan's going, eh? Because,
Not
you
a good
know,
morning.
it's all sweet as, you know, we're gonna get these new ferries, we're gonna spend this much money. Where have you ordered them from? We haven't ordered them yet. They're gonna be here in 2029. Have you got them booked in? We haven't got them booked in yet. What are you gonna do about these ships breaking down? They'll be fine. Really? Let's check that out.
Hanging by a thread. That's the Maritime Union.
That doesn't sound good.
A vital Cook-Strait transport link. The ferry Aratere, due to leave service in August, breaking down again last night and out of operation today. And it's not smooth sailing for the rest of the fleet either. Another ship undergoing repairs. James Fleury has the latest.
The Aratere parked up in Wellington after...
Remind me, Chewie, because we've been talking about this for over a year. Were the original IREXs due this year, the end of this year, or was it next year?
Yeah,
End of this year, right? So this is the thing, right? People are going to start to say, like, trying to defend these guys going, oh, you know, the ferries wouldn't have been here yet anyway. No, you're right. But limping a ferry for 6 months or having something that is an inconvenience, like 1/3 of your ferry capacity down for 6 months, is very different than for 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's 4 years if you're lucky. 4 years if you're lucky, because we've got no guarantees they're going to be here in 2029. So that's the situation.
Yeah. I think with a project like that, I would have expected that maybe there would be some delays because, of course, it's a big project, right? There's always delays. And just because the ship has arrived doesn't mean it's gone into service. But we were supposed to get the first of the IREX ferries. That was the timeline before it was cancelled. This year, basically the later half of this year.
Right.
So.
All right, here we go.
After breaking down last night.
It just left port and one of the frequency converters tripped. The Aratere has 4 of those, and normally they reset, but this one didn't.
The issue fixed at around 1 a.m, with the ferry finally arriving in the capital shortly before 5 this morning.
We've flown down a technician from the original equipment manufacturer. He'll be here later today, and we'll work with him to make sure we know what's...
Where did he fly down from? Notice I didn't say that. What if the original producer was like Singapore or... So this is the other thing to think about. Yes, those IREX ferries were going to cost $3 billion for all of the cost, including the wharves and stuff. However, this government now has to add in, and I'm being a bit pedantic, but the cost of that guy coming to fix it. That should be included. All the things they have to do to these ferries to keep them going with sticky tack and blue tack until 2029. All those costs needed to be added on top of the cost it's going to be for the new ferries. And I'll eat my hat if it's less than $3 billion.
Yeah.
We've said this since day one. We've said this. She talked about a second-hand Corolla, even though the market had no second-hand Corollas that would work on those roads, quote-unquote roads. So we always knew it was going to be new. And from day one, we said, yes, you will now get a second-hand Corolla or lesser quality vehicle, but you'll be paying more than the price of the Ferrari. I'd almost put any amount of money on that. Almost. Don't call me on this, because they're all like my children. They're like my children, MLB. I don't know which one I'd have to eat, but they're like my children. It'll be tough. Be a tough one. We'll keep
going on.
Not yet certain when it will be back in action. Freight shifted to the Kaiarahi, which has also had to be recently repaired, having its bow doors welded shut after taking damage in rough seas.
Apparently it was
the front
big
fell
wave
off.
that hit the gate.
That's exactly what I thought of when I heard it, but I thought I probably can't pay. That'll get us kicked.
Is that normal? Well, not normally.
What? A wave hit it? Oh, never likely a wave. In the ocean?
One of the
Docking
best
bay
bits.
and knocked the ramp out of shape. So to get it seaworthy again, they had to strap it down and weld it.
All this as the third ferry, the Kaitaki, is being pulled from service this weekend.
That is an annual audit that's pre-planned months ago. That's part of the deep rig.
Think about that, though. That's all 3. We could have a moment coming up where there are no ferries, no inter-islanders going between the islands. 0.
Regulatory framework that we operate in to make sure we're reliable and safe.
The Maritime Union says the vital transport link is hanging by a thread.
We could be left with no vessels working the strait on this key piece of infrastructure if something happens. And with the history, something likely is to happen.
The union wants the government to rethink its approach, claiming the cancellation of the IREX project 18 months ago has created the perfect storm.
Take some responsibility, own up to what you have done, and put some money back into the ferries until we get the new ones here in 3 or 4 years' time.
Rail Minister Winston Peters told One
3 or 4 or 6 or... I was just thinking, wouldn't it be the most gangster move ever if someone from Labour had contacted Hyundai and gone, dudes, just keep it on boil. We'll win next time round, and we'll order them straight away. And then the campaign from Labour was, hey guys, if we get back in, Hyundai's back on board. Whoop, won. You've won. Just like that, you've won.
news that he stands by the decision to cancel the IREX.
Of course he
ferry.
does.
And the new, yet to be revealed vessels are set to begin services in 2029. Kiwi Rail confident there's enough funding to keep the ferries running until then.
We've totally revamped our maintenance in the last 18 months. We've been running at over 99% reliability for the last 12 months.
But with these ferries increasingly showing their age, maintaining that record could become more challenging. James Fleury, One News.
So the thing is as well, I mean, like, for example, let's say 2 of the ferries are down and then they put the 3rd one in for a service. If you're only 6 months away from getting your brand new ferries, you're more likely to go, well, this is due a service, but let's just put it off by a week. We'll keep going with that one. Then,
Which is what was happening.
Yeah.
That was the thing, is that they were deferring maintenance because they knew they had new ferries on the way.
Yeah.
We used to be a country, man. It used to be a real country.
Big boy countries.
This is just laughable. It's easy to lash National for this. It's easy to lash Nikki No Boats for this, because I certainly did this morning when I saw that story. But Labour's been very quiet today. Like, this is something that should have been every Labour MP calling every media outlet they know and going, I want to talk about something that about the ferries. This is such a gimme for them, and I can't believe it's been left on the table today. Like, it should have been a full court press.
Well, they're not in the
like,
House, eh?
This, I don't know. I haven't put trackers on them yet. But yeah, it seems to be they had the story there. This was a great opportunity to say, hey, look, this is the party of sensible spending. This is the party of infrastructure. They cancelled this project for ideological reasons with no backup in place. They lied to you when they said that there were second-hand Corollas out there. They lied to you. And they should ride that all the way to election day.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't disagree, Chewie. Yeah, which makes you kind of go, why haven't they? Maybe there's something that's coming tomorrow.
And there are comments in the chat saying Chippy said something like that. I'm not just talking about saying something. I am talking about our major opposition party who want to lead the country, I assume, seeing weakness and punishing it. This is a black and white issue of, they say they're good at this. We are good at this.
Yeah,
we're good at the infrastructure stuff.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen it, and maybe it's because they're not in the House. I don't know.